From the Fidelity Bank Foundation studio, PBS Kansas presents One-on-One with Victor Hogstrom.
This is where Kansas stars come to shine. On this edition of One-on-One, I'll visit with acclaimed singer, songwriter Barry Ward. Ward grew up in southwest Kansas, a fourth-generation farmer and rancher. It wasn't until age 35 he picked up a guitar. The rest is history. Male Performer of the Year, Male Vocalist of the Year, Song of the Year, Barry Ward's talent has won him more accolades than we can list. He has performed in 4 countries and every state but Hawaii. And he'll perform for us right now on this show in our studio. So join me for a half hour with acclaimed singer-songwriter Barry Ward right now, One-on-One. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Victor Hogstrom. I'm excited to welcome Kansas Cowboy Hall of Fame entertainer Barry Ward to the program. Barry, it's good to have you.
Well, it's a blessing to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, Victor.
First, I said Kansas Cowboy. Unusual to hear that Kansas has cowboys.
Yeah.
So explain that.
Well, there's a lot of cowboys in Kansas. We're in feedlot country, where I was born and raised, and where we ran the farm up until about 12 years ago. There's a lot of cowboys who work those feedlots, and my history of my grandparents and my granddad, they were all cowboys. So that's kind of where the love of the cowboy style and the music is, and that's kind of how I got started.
So you were a farmer, a cowboy.
Well, I'm more of a grain operation than a cattle operation. We had about 300 head of cattle every year, and
But that's farming.
yeah, it's farming, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you decided to let it all go, and you picked up that guitar at age 35 to begin to play.
Yeah, I did, and I didn't really let it all go. It was like God moved, and none of our children, we have 2 sons and a daughter, and they're off doing great. Then my dad passed away, and I ran that farm for a few more years, and it became obvious that that's not what I was supposed to be doing. So here we are.
And you decided singing was the way to go.
Yeah, and it's interesting how I would never dream that I'm doing what I'm doing now.
So what kind of music do you perform? Songs that you sing?
Well, it's all pretty much original, like singer-songwriter with the guitar. It all has a spiritual side to it. Every song has a spiritual side because I believe in that, and that's my calling in life, I believe. And but it's Western gospel, I would call it.
You have been recognized many times with a number of awards, and they're just quite remarkable.
Well, thank you.
To name here for this program. It could take up the whole 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate that.
So how do you explain this success?
Staying out of the way and letting the Lord lead me. But my wife, she was in the recording industry and managed a record company for several years, so she has the know-how to make the things that I can't do work, and I just it's become a passion for me.
Do you consider yourself then a minister of music, or how do you describe yourself?
I do, and I don't, but some people have started saying that it's my ministry.
Okay.
And so it's our ministry. Yeah.
You take up offerings and all that?
Well, we do a love offering if we go somewhere. Mm-hmm. I used to do a lot of banquet events and festivals, and they were, they hire you to come. But everything we do now is just on a love offering basis, and He provides. So,
in other words, you don't get a regular paycheck.
I don't. Yeah.
Wow. So how did your childhood, Barry, as a farm kid, prepare you for success in the music industry?
I think the work ethic is probably the main thing. You put enough work into it, you can make it happen like you want it to. My dad was a lover of Western music, so I heard that all my whole life, and big bands. So I guess it was in my upbringing, and went off to play college football and came back to help run the farm, and all of a sudden I'm playing the guitar and people are asking me to come sing, and I'm going, still can't hardly believe that this is happening, but I'm just really enjoying it, and I'm blessed.
So you enjoyed the stage.
Yes.
What musical influences did you have growing up that would have caused you to switch from the farm life to performance on stage, music performance?
Yeah. Well, of course, the proper answer to that, Victor, is Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, and all that scene. But Don Williams, and I'm not sure if you know Don Williams, he was a great country singer. And I used to lay in the athletic dorm in college and just put the headphones on and listen to Don Edwards. And a lot of his style is what I hear. So he's probably the biggest influence on me.
You will be performing 2 songs to this program. Tell us, what are they? Are they original? What were the influences that caused you to write these songs?
The first one's called Rancher's Paradise, and it's I met a guy from Medicine Lodge, Kansas, and he became a good friend. He was several years older than me, and his wife asked me if I could take a poem of hers and put the music to it, make a song, and I tried it and failed horribly. And so I told her that it just didn't sound good. Well, 2 years went by and she never said another word until one night I came down, I was reading late and opened up one of my music folders and it fell out on the floor. And so that was the time to put the music to it. So that's that one. And riding along the Simmeron, I helped the ranch on the Simmeron River several years. And actually the song is from my mom. My dad died, and she said, he's in glory, and he's riding in places we can't imagine, and when I go, I want you to sing Riding Along the Simmeron, because it takes me to him. So, and then the Christmas song is just about being a farmer, and the most important thing is family.
So what would you say then is your greatest talent? Is it singing, playing the guitar, or writing music?
Oh man, probably, I think a mix. I don't consider myself a virtuoso on the guitar. I think it's probably an equal portion. Yeah.
So before we have you perform, tell us what's the secret, in your opinion, of writing a great song?
A great song touches people, and it may only be 1 or 2 people, but a song can be nothing but entertainment, but I think a song needs a message in it. It needs to make you think, and I think that's what makes songwriters go.
So when you decided to quit the farming business, to give that up,
Yeah.
and to become a performer, I'm assuming you gave up a lot,
Yes.
because that was your bread and butter, am I correct?
Yes.
Did that make you nervous?
Yes. It took me 2 years. I was the 4th generation. My great-granddad homesteaded in southwest Kansas. And so I'm the one that broke that tradition. And I was walking out of what I was comfortable doing, I've done it my whole life, into something that I didn't know how that was all going to work. And it took me 2 years before God finally said, you got to trust me. And so I'm just doing that now. I'm trusting him to put us where we're supposed to be and do what we're supposed to do.
So can people call you, Reverend? Music? A minister of music or something?
You know, it's interesting that you say that, Victor, because in the last year or so, I do men's retreats and things like that, and they're starting to call me Pastor, Pastor Barry, and I'm going, I'm not a pastor, but in reality, that's what we do. It's a ministry. Yeah.
So how does your Kansas roots influence your music?
I think coming off the land, making your living on the land, never leaves you. Somebody told me at a concert one night, I said, I'm a farm boy from Kansas. I'm a wheat farmer. And they said, you'll always be a wheat farmer in our eyes, because that's who you are. Mm-hmm. Western Kansas made me who I am. The people who supported me in this endeavor. So it's just one of those things that almost unexplainable.
What are your goals, your objectives in performing? In other words, what do you hope for that your music would accomplish?
That it would touch somebody.
How?
To make them feel good, for lack of a better term. I don't want to just get up there and be entertainment. When I leave the stage, I want people to be thinking about what they heard and maybe incorporate that into their life and maybe touch their heart. So that's kind of, I don't want to just jump up there and entertain, because it is a ministry. Yeah. So.
Okay, so it's my pleasure now to ask you to perform.
Okay.
Some of your music for our audience. And so it's my pleasure to introduce Barry Ward.
I feel so close to God outdoors as I sit right upon my horse. Hear the wind in the trees as I ride, just my horse and me. Hear the birds sing their song, all is at peace, nothing's wrong. It's the start of a brand new day. With his still small voice, he leads the way. I see his wonder in the bright blue sky, the floating clouds as they pass me by. I feel his presence as he takes my hand and guides me to the promised land. Oh, I feel so close to God outdoors as I sit right upon my horse. Hear the wind in the trees as I ride, just my horse and me. Another day I'll seek his will from the still of a canyon in yonder hill. Wildflowers bloom in every nook, hear the babbling of a tiny brook. I see his wonder in the bright blue sky, the floating clouds as they pass me by. I feel his presence as he takes my hand and guides me to the promised land. Oh, I feel so close to God outdoors as I sit right upon my horse. Hear the wind in the trees as I ride, just my horse and me. As I ride, just my horse and me.
So that was Rancher's Paradise by Barry Ward. Now, back to you, Barry. We heard that song. What kind of reaction or feedback do you get from it?
I get a lot of feedback, and you asked me earlier, requested songs. It's one of my most requested, I think because of the message in it.
But how do people?
It's a little jazzy, but yeah.
How do people know about these songs? I mean, are they on CDs? Are they on the radio? How do they hear them?
They're on CDs, and of course, a lot of radio stations are playing some of my music, and it's on CD Baby and iTunes. All those, you can get it on that online, which is the coming thing because CDs are kind of going away, and
Right.
the younger generations are, buy one song type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And are they buying your song?
It surprises me sometimes. 25, 30-year-old guys and gals come up and say, "Hey, that song you sang, is it on CD Baby or iTunes?" And we said, "Yes." Well, they go there and they get it, which is, to me, a success. To me, that's a success.
Okay, so you're going to perform another song, and this one is called
Riding Along the Simmeron.
Riding Along
The Simmeron.
the Simmeron. Okay. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Barry Ward.
I'm riding along the Simmeron. The world seems far away. Nature's critters talking. I hear every word they say. Past that old fallen cottonwood and the smell of the sage and the tall grass waves to me as if to say, what if tomorrow it's your last ride? Oh, I'll just thank him for riding by my side. 'Cause I'm riding along the Simmeron. I hold the reins in my hands, and the birds sing a pretty tune that I understand. We pull up to a cedar, hear the sounds of the creek, and we stand in silence as he begins to speak. What if tomorrow it's your last ride? Oh, then I'll just thank him for riding by my side. And if tomorrow finds me on a range unknown by man, I'll be there with a smile on my face as I ride in his amazing grace. 'Cause I'm riding along the Simmeron. The world seems far away. Far away.
So that was Ride Along the Simmeron, Barry Ward. Barry, when this is all said and done, you're through singing, what would have been the one thing you want to accomplish?
That I made a difference in even one life, that's success to me. It's not about, I appreciate the awards, they're a wonderful thing. But if I can help somebody get over a hill that they can't get over by song, then that would be my goal.
So describe Barry Ward, the farmer, and Barry Ward, the songwriter, singer today.
First of all, I don't like to talk about myself. I'm not that. I have a difficulty doing that.
Try. Give it a shot.
Because it's not about me. Yeah. Boy, I was a gung-ho farmer. I mean, it was in my blood and still in my blood. So that was my life, and it's a total different world now. But I have a passion now that I didn't have when I was farming. So I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing at this point in my life. And when that's over, I hope people look back and say, oh yeah, that song meant something to me. So that's kind of.
Have you gotten reactions from your fellow farmers who are still farming?
I have, and our community is 300 people that I grew up in. And at first, nobody really understood what I was doing, that it was a calling for me. And now they couldn't be more supportive. They're wonderful. I get to do things like go back to the cemetery on Memorial Day and sing for the veterans at the cemetery. And I get to do churches in the area, and they're all very, very encouraging and believing in what we're doing.
And that gives you some sense of satisfaction, I take it.
It does. Yeah, because it gives me a lot of, it's almost a peace, Victor. It's that I'm in the right spot in life.
But how did your children react? You have 2 boys.
Yes, and a daughter.
And a daughter. And when you said you're going to quit farming, because they didn't want to be farmers, right?
Right.
But you're going to quit it and start performing and singing. What was that reaction?
Very supportive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Very, very supportive, and still are today. Which that's almost a huge blessing for me that they still support me in what I'm doing. We have a great relationship.
Wow, that's very good.
Thank you.
So you're going to do a Christmas special for us now.
Yeah.
Describe that.
Well, it's called Farm Family, and it's just about the most important thing on a farm is a family. And at this time of year, Christmas time, I think that's one thing we don't want to leave out, that it's families. And you have to work to keep your families meeting together and on Thanksgiving and on Christmas.
Right.
So that's what the song's about.
Okay, so let's hear. The title again is
Farm Family.
Farm Family. Barry Ward with Farm Family.
Snow is falling in my dreams. It's been so long, it seems, since we've had snow on Christmas Day. But Lord, I'm thanking you anyway. Well, me and my 2 sisters snuck up one early Christmas morning just to see what was there beneath the tree. There sat 3 brand new bikes, just as shiny as they could be. Lord, I thank you for my family. I have seen 1,000 sunsets, I have felt the rain, I've walked the amber waves of grain. I have seen a harvest moon just as bright as it could be, but the best part of a farm is a family. Just the other night we had some old photo albums out of our kids growing up on the farm. And oh, how we laughed at some of those old pictures, and then how we cried when we realized how the years have flown by. 'Cause I have seen 1,000 sunsets, I have felt the rain, I've walked the amber waves of grain. I have seen a harvest moon as bright as it could be, and the best part of a farm is a family. You know, I don't know what your memories are at Christmas, but we need to remember that it all began with a child born beneath a bright and shining star. God sent His only Son that we all could share eternity. And that was the start of one heck of a big old family. And I have seen 1,000 sunsets, I have felt the rain, I've walked the amber waves of grain. And I have seen a harvest moon in the back of my old pickup truck. But the best part of a farm is a family. Yes, the best part of my farm is my family.
That was absolutely wonderful. A Christmas song sung by a cowboy, a ministerial cowboy, spreading the gospel. Singer-songwriter Barry Ward, it was a joy to have you with us. Thank you for joining us.
It's been a real pleasure, Victor. Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching this edition of One-on-One. One-on-one@kpts.org is our email address. That's if you have a question or comment. I'm Victor Hogstrom. Be well, and I'll see you again soon.
I feel so close to God outdoors as I sit right upon my horse.